Fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one crazy ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on Facebook.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one incredibly awesome and super cool ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, hashtag one on YouTube. Tonight we have with us Joe Bieber. Welcome to the show, Mr. Joe.
Thank you.
So, Joe, let's talk about your racing career. Where did it all begin for you?
Well, it started in actually got a little notepad here so I can keep track of this stuff. It started in 2006. I started running enduros down in a little town in Pennsylvania. There was a racetrack called Allegheny Mountain Raceway. And a bunch of my friends decided, hey, we got a 4-cylinder car. Let's take the glass out of it and strip it down and take it down and run it for $500 to win. I'm like, all right. So we trailered it down there and tried it. And I fell in love with it. Like it was a dirty, nasty mess. I mean, there was clay everywhere. It was muddy. It was a rush.
Okay.
So we did that for about 8 years. I ran enduros. And then my kids were born and I took a little break. I took about a 5-year break. And 4 years ago, I bought a mini stock and got into doing mini stock racing. And so we've been doing mini stock since 2019. And so I've been doing the 4-cylinder. So
okay. So the 4-cylinder mini stocks, is that pretty popular out there where you're at?
Yes, it's as you can see, I have an SCDRA shirt on. It's real popular up this way. You are allowed to do modifications to the cars, like you can tune them and you can do stuff to the motors and stuff like that. But the 4-cylinders are pretty big out this way, yes.
So Joe, when you're racing 4-cylinders and you're out there racing, what's it like to race a 4-cylinder car?
Well, with a 4-cylinder, we don't always have the horsepower that the big cars have. So you have to keep it wound up. And when you go into the corners, when the track is wet, it does, it's a lot more driver ability than it comes down to the car when the track is wet. We go out for our feature, the track is usually like a dry slick. So, then the car hooks up. So then the car does play a factor then. But mostly it comes down to the driver. But it's a blast. I mean, until you strapped in the car and went out there, it's hard to explain.
Okay. So Joe, what is the story behind your race car number? Where did that come from?
Okay. The number 31 came from, I'm a Dale Earnhardt senior fan.
Okay.
And after the accident happened, he passed away.
Yeah.
I was like, I really hated to use his number because, I have respect for the Earnhardts. So I said, hey, number 3 has always been number 1 to me. So why not tack a 1 on behind it? So that's where 31 come in.
Okay, very
So
cool.
we've been
very
running
cool.
that number ever since.
So Joe, being you've been an Earnhardt senior fan, did you ever get a chance to meet him back in the day?
Never did get a chance to meet him in person. No, I did not.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Junior at all?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
No.
So Joe, being 31 is your race car, that's pretty cool. So is your paint scheme based off of Earnhardt Senior's paint scheme and Junior's paint scheme then, or?
Actually, no, the black is. My car is actually black and purple, and I have neon green for my numbers. What happened was when I bought the car, the interior was already purple, and they had purple racing rims on it. And my girlfriend joked with me when I bought it. She walked in the garage and she goes, "It has purple on it." She says, "You're just not a purple kind of person." She says, "I just can't picture you leaving purple on that car." And I got thinking about it, and I was like, I come up with an awesome paint scheme. I said, what happens if we lay a glossy black down with the purple? And I said, we do neon green numbers. I said, so it pops. And she's like, as long as you're okay with the purple, she's like, I just don't see you as being the person like purple. So the purple kind of grew on me. So the purple's been on the car for the last 4 years. We've had the paint scheme more or less for the last 4 years. We're thinking about changing it. Possibly this season, I would like to go with something similar to a gravedigger wrap.
Okay.
So we can incorporate the skulls and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So Joe, when it comes to your racing career, who do you have for sponsors on your race car?
Actually, I ran 4 seasons sponsorless. It's all came out of my own pocket. My girlfriend has helped me out with some of the stuff. So it's falls on my shoulders.
So are you
It's
looking
kind
for
of hard to get sponsors. It's really hard to get sponsors up this way. I don't know if it's because just if they think it's a 4-cylinder, they're just kind of like, we really don't want to sponsor a 4-cylinder. I don't know. It's people are just kind of turned off by the whole, asking for sponsorship of the 4-cylinder.
So are you looking for sponsors for your racing team?
I'm always looking for sponsors. Yes. No matter
So-
how big or small, it doesn't matter.
So if there's anybody out here going to be watching this racing show with me and Mr. Joe Bieber, and you'd like to help him out with his racing team, reach out to Joe on Facebook, and Joe would gladly love to have sponsors on his race car as he gets further into his racing career. So
I
Joe,
actually have a Facebook page that is strictly that follows my racing. It's Misfits Racing on Facebook. And it's updated when we start racing during the season. I update it weekly to keep track of what's going on, with racing, where our current positions are in points, what track we'll be at, stuff like that. So that does. So if anybody wants to follow on that, they can. I'm
Okay.
also on TikTok. We're
Yeah.
covering all the social medias here.
Yo, that's fine. So if anybody wants to help sponsor Joe, you can reach out to Joe through his private Facebook page, or you can reach out to Misfits Racing. Definitely.
Yes.
So Joe, when you're getting strapped into your race car to go out on the track, what helps get you psyched up to go out there and do this?
Sometimes I will listen to music. I'll have my phone with me and I have a few songs that I'll play. Other times I just sit there. My girlfriend helps me get in and hook up because some of the safety gear that we have to wear is kind of difficult to do by yourself.
Oh yeah.
So she'll buckle me in and she usually gives me a pep talk.
Okay.
Wherever else, like, hey, get your head in the game, be careful, she's like, she's about to have a good time. She goes, I know, everybody says to win, but go out and have a good time. She's like, no matter what happens, just go out and have a good time. And I said, okay, so, so when I'm in the shoot and everything, nobody really talks to me when I'm in the shoot. I just kind of put my visor down. I sit there. I think about what I'm going to do when they drop the green flag.
Okay.
Thing,
So what type of music do you like to listen to, Joe?
I listen to rock and country, but mostly rock. I do listen to a lot of Five Finger Death Punch, Shine Down, stuff like that. God, so I'm kind of all over the place. I have a lot of genres I listen to. So
Okay, I'm into the 80s rock, hair metal.
I do like some of that too. I have some Van Halen and AC/DC, stuff like that.
Some Def Leppard.
Yep, Def Leppard. Yep, definitely.
Oh yeah. So Joe, when it comes to your racing career, do you have a racing nickname?
No, I can't really say I do. Well, I've had people call me Biebs,
Yeah.
But I'm not related to Justin Bieber. No form, no way am I related to him. But because I've heard that joke several times in the pits. They're like, oh hey, you're related to Justin Bieber, and I'm like, no, not related at all. So some people will say, hey Biebs, but really, not really. No, I really don't per se have a nickname. No.
Yeah, so we got to work on getting you one, a pretty cool one. So Joe, now when it comes to your racing career, how much success have you had as a race car driver on the racetrack?
Well, when I was doing enduros, I won. I didn't win any, but I came in like the top 3. As far as the mini stocks go, I haven't won a race yet, but my rookie year out in the mini stock, I came in 5th place in points. The following year, we came in 3rd place. In the last 2 years, we came in 2nd place. So it's going to happen soon. It's going to happen
soon. You're building on your racing career. That's
everything lining up.
That's the big thing. It's lining up. Yes. So Joe, when it comes to your racing career, what is your 5-year plan with racing?
Well, I'm 42 years old, so I figure I might have 10 years left, maybe, if I can still get in and out of the car. It's getting older. It's harder to get in and out of the cars. The cars are getting smaller. Of course, I think I'm getting a little bigger too, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But I think I'll probably race in our 5 years. I do have a 16-year-old son that we are possibly going to put into a 4-cylinder car in the 2023 season. We're currently in the works of working on that right now, and it'll be a kids class. So it's more or less my 4-cylinder class but it's a kids class. It's strictly for kids that are under 18. And
Okay.
so we're looking to maybe get him into a car. So I'll probably like I said, I might have about 5 years left, and then I might tend to either retire or just take a break from it and work on getting him, into racing more.
So what about 10 years? What are you looking forward to in 10 years?
10 years, I will probably be retired. I would have to say I would be, because like I said, by then I'll be, I'll be over 50. I'll be like 50, 52, 53. So, I mean, not saying I won't still want to climb in a car, but I don't think I'd want to do it on a weekly basis.
Come on, Joe. We want to see you be like the John Force of the area,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to race until I can't race anymore. But, we all know that it's a lot of work to, I mean, if it wasn't for my son and my girlfriend and me putting late hours in, in the garage, we wouldn't get stuff done. I mean, this last season, we had terrible problems with breakdowns. We had multiple mechanical issues. It was like every week we were breaking stuff. And I went through 4 steering racks in my Cavalier this last season. And that requires totally dropping the motor down and everything to be able to change that. So we're talking a couple hours with 2 people doing it.
Oh,
so
boy.
my son has been amazing this last summer helping me in the garage, because, with me working a full-time job, it's very hard to find time to work on the car during the week to be ready by Friday night to go race again. So,
So Joe, now with your racing career, when you, what is the worst thing you've had happen to you as a race car driver?
Oh, the worst thing I had was my rookie year in the 4-cylinder. We were racing and I was back in like 8th place, and I had a guy blow a tire in turn 3, and his car spun and it hit the guardrail. Well, when it hit the guardrail in the corner, it bounced him back out in front of me, and I was coming out of turn 3, so I was getting back on the gas pedal. So it like literally dropped him right in front of me, and I hit it head on. That was the worst experience I have had in a car. Luckily, I walked away with minor, bruises. More of a shook up thing than anything. I didn't get hurt real bad or anything. They had to actually cut him out of his car. That's how bad it was. And the safety equipment did what it was supposed to. My car held up. His car held up. But that was a scary feeling, knowing that I had hit him and I didn't know what kind of shape he was in, because they wouldn't let me near the car. They wouldn't let me out of my car. It was.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They sent me off the track into the pits because my car was still drivable. So I would say that would be the worst moment I've had behind the wheel in the car, was that, not knowing what kind of shape he was in. I mean, after it was all said and done, he did not end up going to the hospital. I talked to him after the race. We went over and shook hands, and, we joked about it, and he's like, I knew a tire was down. He's like, I knew I should have pulled it off. He's like, but he's like, I was pushing just to try to get to hang in there a few more laps, and I was like, hey, we all make them decisions. We all, choose to push the envelope sometimes, and I said, sometimes things happen. So that's
Joe,
one of my worst moments.
Okay. So Joe, when it comes to your racing career, who is your racing hero? Because we kind of talked about your favorite race car driver, but who?
I don't really per se have a hero. There's guys I do enjoy watching on the track. It is not even 4-cylinder guys either. I'm talking like late model guys. I enjoy watching late model guys drive. I enjoy watching sprint car drivers. I mean, that's actually, when I was younger, I used to go to the track and watch the cars on dirt. That's kind of what got me into the dirt thing. I just never really got a chance to get on the track until later on in life. But yes, I can't say I have one particular person that is a favorite. I have many that I follow, many that I enjoy watching. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. So Joe, talking about your racing career again, when you're at the racetrack, what's your favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
I don't eat much, I will tell you that. Usually we bring our own food. So a lot of times we'll bring hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff like that. I actually won't eat until after my feature a lot of times.
Okay.
Just for the simple fact that I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that you get nervous every time you strap into a car. I mean,
oh yeah,
even guys that have been doing this stuff for 20 years will tell you the same thing. You get in the car, you get some butterflies in your stomach, and stuff like that. So I don't usually eat a lot until after the races. I mean, I'll snack a little bit here and there, but yeah, usually hot dogs and hamburgers. Those are my favorite. And everybody jokes it because they come down to my pit stall and my trailer, and they're like, "Hey," they're like, "This is where the party's at." They're like, "You got the food." So like, Joe's always got food. Never go hungry down here.
So Joe, who helps work on your race car then?
That would be my son primarily. My girlfriend helps on race day. You know, she helps get stuff together to go to the races. Like, she's in charge of the food and making sure my gear's in the truck and stuff like that. But mostly my son and I, we load the car, you know, make sure everything's ready to go. When I come in from my heat race, he goes over my car. I go over it with him. You know, we check tire pressures, we check lug nuts, we check the fuel situation, stuff like that. You know, make sure the radiator's clean, stuff like that. So yeah, he's my number one pit guy. He's like my mechanic and pit guy all in one.
Okay. So Joe, when you're away from the racetrack, where's your favorite place to eat at then?
Oh, that would be, I would have to say Applebee's.
Okay.
Applebee's, and TGI Fridays. Those are my two favorites right there.
Okay. Okay. And so Joe, when you're at home, what's your favorite meal that your girlfriend makes for you?
That would be lasagna.
Oh yes.
Good old lasagna.
Oh yes. I agree with you there. I do.
Yes. That with some Italian bread.
Oh yeah. So Joe, who are some of your friends at the racetrack?
I have met a lot of people in the 4 years that I ran mini stock. Actually, my little brother has actually followed in my footsteps. He actually runs mini stock too. So he's usually at the racetrack. I have met a few people. We kind of have a small circle. There's not a lot of us that are 4-cylinder drivers, but there's a few of us that are local track. So I have met a lot of people there. I have met a lot of people down in Pennsylvania. I did do a lot of racing down in Pennsylvania the first and second year that I bought the car. When COVID hit, we kind of didn't get much of a chance to go and race.
Oh yeah.
Down in Pennsylvania because there was so much restrictions. New York State, you know, you couldn't cross the border. You couldn't do that, you know. So, but I do have some friends out there. Not too many, but a few.
Okay. So Joe, what do you like to do away from the racetrack?
Oh, away from the racetrack. I enjoy spending time in the garage working on cars. I know it sounds goofy, but to me, a good Saturday or a Sunday, you know, relaxing day is in the garage turning wrenches. You know, not really having to hurry up and get it done, but just kind of take your time and get it done. You know, stuff like that. So I enjoy being in the garage.
So Joe, now, like I said, with your racing career, so Joe, what is your home racetrack that you race on?
I race at Freedom Motorsports Park, which is in Delavan, New York. It's only about 5 miles from my house. Okay. That's really close for us. We've been racing there for at least 5-6 years. But that's my home track. We do go down into Pennsylvania. One of my favorite tracks is McKean County Raceway, which is down in Smithport. Unfortunately, they did not open last season due to they did not have a promoter for the track. So they didn't open last season. So hopefully we're hoping this next season they could possibly open, because that's one of my favorite tracks to go race at. It's at a fairgrounds. It's a big track. I really enjoy racing that one. So that's my favorite. And I have a few other ones that probably fall into second place as far as, you know, like Genesee Speedway. I do enjoy going there. That's a bigger track too.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've been to Bradford. Bradford's not, I don't really like Bradford because to me it's just too small. It's like a real small building. It's really tiny.
Okay. So Joe, those are your favorite tracks. Do you have any big racing events that you're looking forward to racing coming up?
I would like to do some SCDRA events this next season. We're not sure how far we're going to travel down. I mean, there is some up here by me. There is some in New York. We would like to get down into Pennsylvania, possibly down to Thunder Valley Raceway or I know there was a few other ones down there that were doing it. So I got to look at the schedule this next season coming up and see who's actually going to be doing it. But we'd like to try to make some of the 4-cylinder shows if we could. Try to try out some new tracks, So
Joe, do you have anything out there you want to say to the kids and adults to help get them into a race car?
Oh, to a kid, don't let anybody tell you can't do it. You would not believe how many people come up to me and say, "You're terrible. You're slow." Blah blah blah. I mean, there's always people who are going to talk.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
The main thing is go out there, have fun. Don't worry about what everybody else says. Enjoy it. And the other thing is definitely, as a driver, if you start racing, definitely pay attention to the kids. It's really sad to see drivers not acknowledge kids when they want to come up to an autograph or they want to hang out in the car or stuff like that. I try to make a habit of when I go to a track, my home track, I try to do it a lot more at because we go there more often. But I'll try to get there early and I'll try to go around the grandstands. I give out bracelets. I have rubber bracelets that say Misfits Racing on them, stuff like that. I'll give that out.
I need to get a couple of them from you.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. So Joe, it's pretty cool to have you on our racing show to talk to us about your racing career and getting to know you a little bit better. Do you have anybody out there you'd like to give a special thank you to?
That would be my girlfriend, Kristen. She has, she's always been there through, the downers, the uppers, the night you come home, the car's destroyed and you're so mad. You don't want to talk.
Oh yeah.
And she's always there saying, hey, and I'll be on my way home and I'm like, that's it. I hate it. I'm going to park the car in the garage. I'm not going to take it back out again. And she's like, you're not going to do that. She's like, I know you too well. She goes, by tomorrow morning, you'll be right back out there tearing it apart.
Oh, yes. Fixing
it,
Yeah.
So she's always there to, calm me down and tell me like, listen, get your head screwed on straight. Don't do rash stuff, so she's there to help me. And I really appreciate that. It helps to have somebody, backing me all the way. Makes it a lot easier.
So Joe, what is your favorite part about being a race car driver, would you say?
The favorite part for me is going out on the track and turning the laps. Just, I really enjoy being at the track, the atmosphere, and in the rush that you get when you go out there. I mean, we don't go super fast. I mean, I've been clocked at 65, 70 mile an hour in a 4-cylinder, which is it's reasonable speed on dirt. I mean, that's pretty fast to be throwing a car into a corner. But I'll tell you what, it feels like you're going so much faster when you're in the car. You have no windshield in front of you. The clay is flying and everything's, the adrenaline's pumping and the cars are next to you, raring and tearing. So it's a blast. I mean, so like I told everybody, I said, I don't have bad habits. I don't smoke. I don't drink. But I said, man, I do love going to the racetrack and I have that need for speed.
Oh yeah. So Joe, do you have anything you want to say to the kids and adults to get them to come to my racing show?
I guess the big thing is like, I know that I've watched some of your videos and it's actually very interesting to watch the kids.
Yes.
So I think if there's kids out there who would like to get into the sport, that they should sit down and watch some of the interviews that you have done with the younger kids and actually listen to what they have said and, the stuff they've gone through, because it'll prepare them for when they actually do get into that situation. I mean, I said, it's not things are not always as rosy as everybody seems.
Yes.
There's always ups and downs.
Oh yes. So Joe, I'm gonna turn the microphone over to you. You can ask me some questions now.
Oh, I get to ask you a question. Okay.
A few questions, in fact. You can do that. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever raced before?
I have driven a go-kart before on an amusement park track, but never actually physically raced. Yes.
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough. So what is one of your favorite types of racing?
I love all sorts of different types of dirt racing. I love Indy cars. I love Formula One, NASCAR, drag racing, anything
so
with
pretty much anything with four wheels and a motor. Huh?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, yeah.
Gotcha. What do you have a favorite driver?
I do. I have a favorite driver in a lot of classes. Actually, my favorite driver out of the IndyCar class was Dan Weldon back in the day, but I do follow a lot of Andretti Autosport drivers on the IndyCar side.
Okay.
But when it comes to drag racing, I'm a pretty big John Force fan, that
Okay.
type of thing there. But I follow all sorts of different drag racers. NASCAR wise, I was a big Dale Earnhardt fan, then went to Junior. And then when Junior kind of fizzled out, I kind of jumped on ship with Jimmy Johnson for a little while.
Right.
And then after Jimmy left, it was just like, now where do I go? So then I looked at Kyle
Right.
Larson, and said, well, there's my next driver.
Yep.
So oh yeah.
Yep.
Busch Series wise, right now it's a Noah Gregson's kind of right up there. Truck Series wise, I really don't have one. But yeah, Formula One, that's a toughie. I like to watch all the Formula One stuff. So yes, that I can.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And dirt wise, there's too many dirt drivers to count.
There's so many.
Yeah, I love you. I follow you guys all. So yes.
Right.
I'm fans of
Exactly.
you guys. All of your guys. So yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I guess my other question would be, what do you do in your spare time? Besides
let's see. How do I describe this, Joe? Eat, sleep, and breathe racing. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yes.
So,
I like to go fishing, and I do some hunting here a little bit here and there too.
there you go.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But yeah, Joe, it's been my pleasure to have you on my racing show tonight, talking to us about your racing career. I'll have you step out of Zoom. I will call you a little bit to thank you in person. Thank you for being a part of this. Definitely, it's my pleasure to have you on with me.
It's been an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Joe Bieber and the number 31 mini stock driver of the Misfits racing team entry. Definitely. Let's look here. Do I have any more racing news? Let's check this out, shall we? Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Do I have any news updated? I'm looking here, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with me here. Dean Abbey captures the opening night of the All-Star Crate Late Model Series at I-37 Speedway, shall I say. Congratulations to Dean Abbey on that victory. Let me look here further. Oops, I hit the wrong button there. Doop. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, looking here. Oh, congratulations to Rylan Hanula for winning the KSQ MRC race today in her quarter midget. Congratulations to Rylan. And also, congratulations to Trevor Ward for picking up the late model stock car feature, the poll for the late model stock car feature. So definitely tomorrow. So congratulations to today. I'm sorry. Congratulations to Trevor Ward for doing that. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is about it I have for the racing show tonight. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Joe Bieber and the number 31 racing team for being a part of this racing show with me tonight. And his team is also the Misfits Racing also. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank them. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to press like, if you'd like to go to, if you ladies and gentlemen, go press like, subscribe, and hit that notification button on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on YouTube. Also, ladies and gentlemen, go press like on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on Facebook for all the racing news updates. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, Manning Motorsports and New England Hemophilia Association, for being a part of this racing show with me tonight. Also, if you would like to sponsor my racing show or be on my racing show, feel free to email me at jjnolan151@gmail.com, or you can call or text me at 712-209-7138. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on YouTube.